Hello everybody, this is Kyrix with another episode of This Week in Kyrix. This is for the week of Wednesday, November 21st, 2018. And, is there a reason I was facing this way? Probably not. I'm actually recording this Tuesday, about an hour before Wednesday happens. So it's 11:07 here. So that's fun. In case you're wondering, the reason this is possible is because the roommate has just left to go out of town for Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's a thing. Also, to all my American viewer, yes, that was intentionally not pluralized. Happy Thanksgiving! So yeah, it's just me and the critters for the next week, basically. I'll see him again Saturday. But, it's just me and the critters, so I can get a lot done this week. I have, actually already gotten quite a bit done. Tonight I was supposed to go see, originally Creed 2, and then I decided, no, I'll do Wreck-It Ralph, and then I decided, no, it's cold and I'm sleepy, so I'm just gonna sleep in. And see everything tomorrow, meaning Wednesday, when they officially release. And I can do this because it's not Thursday, which means that tomorrow's not Friday, which means that I don't have to worry about losing anything. If I want to, I can catch some of these things on Thanksgiving and still see them. So that's useful. But, oh, it's repair time. God damn it. Repair man. There's that. So anyway, Pokemon today. I had quite a few battles. I actually lost quite a few of them. Or no, what happened was I was going to lose most of them, and then I pulled wins at the last second. But, oh my god, I am having so much fun with one of my Pokemon, Dedenne. I stole a build off of YouTube that basically has Dedenne play pure support rather than a normal fighting Pokemon and all that. And this Dedenne exists solely to frustrate the shit out of everyone there. In just 2 weeks' time, and when I say 2 weeks, it's really 2 days. But in just 2 weeks' time, everyone hates this thing. It is probably the most hated Pokemon I own. It's to the point where I think if I offered a poll of either Starlet or my Dedenne to be deleted and released, I think they'd choose Dedenne. Because all it does is just make everyone useless. And it just heals. It was driving everyone nuts, like, oh, we've almost killed it. Nom 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 nom. It eats its berry. Then Cheek Pouch gives it more. Then I recycled to get the berry back. It was wonderful. I'm gonna see if this thing's gonna yield any metal. Probably not. Oh. Dumbass, don't click that. Get more results that way. So anyway, cool. That was totally worth all the stones I wasted using that. Alright, I'm pretty sure I had this place as good as I could get it. Well, it looks pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but, ow. Considering the condition it was in when I found it, it's looking gorgeous, really. Really, that was on me. Alright, now I can actually explore and do other shit. Okay, where did I put all of my bullshit? It's in the kitchen, I believe. But, I've gotten some headway on my gym leader battle. Well, it remains to be seen how well it's going to play out. But, again, we'll see. Could end up going a lot of different ways, really. Alright, now let's try not being a distracted sack of shit for a little bit here. And actually... Alright, well anyway, I have made quite a bit of progress actually on my channel. First off, I've ordered my laptop. It should be here by December 4th. It's not prime, it's not like a huge top-of-the-line awesome laptop. Sadly within my budget. And the reason I looked so excited before is I don't really understand computer stats. And what I was glimpsing looked a lot better than what I had. And then what ended up being in my range wasn't quite as impressive. But it's better than what I have in literally every regard. It's refurbished, so we'll see how well it lives up to its own advertisement. But the potential is certainly there because it's not super extreme, the stuff in it. But at a comparative price, just hard drive alone, there was a little laptop within my range Black Friday, on Black Friday sale. And it had 1/10 of this thing's hard drive space. I could literally buy 2 external hard drives and beat that thing's hard drive compared to the one I've got coming to me. I'm also looking in, was talking to my aunt, we'll see what comes of it if anything, looking into getting a new external hard drive. Another double tera, this one's red. It doesn't matter that it's red other than the price, but I just like that it's red. I'd rather it be green, but you take what you have, you know. If green is not available, metallic red is a suitable substitute. And we'll see if that comes to me. If it does, then my Let's Plays are going to be much better because I'll have a place to store them all without worrying about, oh, do I need to delete stuff to put this next one up? In the recordings themselves, I actually have covered this quite a bit, but at this point, there's nothing on my channel stating it. I have a new policy towards my uploads. Now, as before, nothing's going out to the public until it's done. Just because I don't want to be the guy who's like, well, I never finished this, even though with several games I have been for a couple reasons, like Suikoden 2, which was not quite my fault. I should have still been on top of that, though. But, when the new computer arrives, I'll look back at all the Suikoden videos I have uploaded, all the stuff I backed up on the hard drive, and where I am in the save file. I'll compare and contrast and see if I can finish the Let's Play and just wrap it up, be done. You know, that would be really wonderful if I could do that. Give me a sense of some closure, at least. But, I digress. I have been working on XCOM 2. Which is notable because it's a game that I, again, have never beaten. And it turns out the reason why is because I didn't read the fucking tutorial shit. For those who don't know, XCOM 2 basically takes place with you as the Resistance. XCOM 1 turned out to be a simulation. Humanity actually lost the war with the aliens. And for 20 years, they've been subjugated by them. And in that time, Central, which was the main contact guy from the first game, finally located the commander, which was the player, from XCOM 1. And the tutorial mission, should you choose to do it, is a rescue mission to get Commander back. And if you don't do the tutorial mission, well, for one thing, you'll have a chance for 4 living soldiers with promotions instead of just the 1. I'm still pissed about that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You'll blow up a statue. I think it's supposed to be as a distraction for the mission, you know. But anyway, you go across the country contacting other resistance cells, and it takes intel, which is a separate resource that you have. And there are a couple ways to generate it. One of the ways you can do it is the base just generates intel, unless you always do what I do, which is substitute it for something more useful, which is almost always something like, oh, we heal faster, or we build faster, or something like that. Which is what I almost always do, because to me, it's more important to get my soldiers back on their feet and back in the field than it is to get more intel. And anyway, contacting resistance cells takes intel. But the further they are from a comm tower, the more intel it takes. And you only start with one comm tower, and that's at your base. And I never realized you could build comm towers. I always thought they were referring to the resistance comms, because I had them at roughly the same time. Because for whatever reason, I didn't read carefully or listen carefully. But if you build a comm tower in one of the areas you have, then the price of intel for a new contact drops. Which is to say, it fucking plummets from orbit. To give you an idea, normally, if you don't build comm towers, you're looking at like 170, 210 intel, etc., depending on how far away whatever you're trying to contact is. So as you play, the game gets almost impossible. The costs get ridiculous, and you just don't have the means to contact the areas which will give you access to the places you need to get to. The places that have your missions, like, oh, I'm in Africa, I need to be in Southeast Asia for this, but I don't have enough intel. That kind of thing. So as a result, I pretty much got stun-locked in the game and couldn't really advance. And I was furious with myself when I found out that if you build a comm tower, it only costs 30 to contact an adjacent place. Also, that's a town. If those roads are accurate, that's a fucking town. Or at the very least, it's a very creepy plot for one. Any minute now, I should see buildings popping into existence. And if not, then I'm going to be really confused. Because that is plotted out like a goddamn town. There we go. This is actually what I was looking for. Oh no. Is it a town or is it ruins? Because ruins don't help me. I'm not likely to find shit in ruins. God damn it, it's ruins. And on top of that, it could be mined. Wonderful, I should have stayed back where I fucking was. Yeah, all this walking and I'm not likely to find a goddamn thing here. I mean, I'm sure I'll find something, but nothing to justify this fucking walk I just took. I'll watch this thing prove me wrong immediately. Ooh, well, it's nice, I guess. Sure, let's wear that instead. So anyway, I figured that out on XCOM, and so I'm doing really well, actually. I'm 30 episodes in. And I'm probably going to finish the game before my roommate gets back from where he's going to visit family. So, let's segue that back to where this was originally going, which is my new upload policy, which is to say that I now upload everything pretty much when I get it, but privately. I upload it as private so that it doesn't just jump onto my channel. I mean, it's there, and if I give a person permission, they can watch it whenever they want. But I'm not really likely to hand out permission. I'm more likely to just hand someone the fucking episode. I mean, if you know me well enough to get private info from me like that, and you could just call me up, or Skype me, or fucking Discord me, or whatever, and say, hey, Kyrix, I'd like to watch your Dino Crisis thing. Also, I found a wrench. That's awesome. I take everything back. It's like, oh, did I say Dino Crisis? I was watching a review for Carnosaur. I would like to watch your XCOM thing. Then I will say, here are the files. Or if you're here in person, here, I will boot them up and we can watch them together. Actually, that's probably wrong, because I just realized these are like 2 gigs a pop. And ain't no one got time for that shit. All I'm saying is the people who like to watch me don't like me that much. Shit, I only like me that much because I have to by default. Well, yeah, just finding that wrench, I guess, kind of made up for everything. And the good news is, if a road goes one way, it probably also goes another. And there's more water. What the fuck is with this game? Seriously, I've never seen a game so not stingy with water before. I mean, I count myself lucky if I find a swimming pool, like, 10 days into a game. I started near water. And then I found another source of water and another source on top of that in the first episode, in the first day of the game. I mean, are you fucking kidding me, dude? I'm grateful but concerned. Don't know why I'm even thinking about doing this yet, because there's no reason to. I have water at home that I can just dip into if I need. And I mean literally at home, as in my basement. But anyway, so yeah, there are on my channel right now, currently sitting 30 episodes of Let's Play XCOM 2. Ranging in time from about 25 minutes to close to an hour. Because the PS4 will only record hour-long videos, which is why the length of time for this has dropped so much. But, yeah, there's a possibility, and I keep trying to talk him out of it, but there's still a very distinct possibility that the roommate is going to loan out the PS4 to his ex-girlfriend so that she could play Red Dead Redemption 2. For a period of several months, apparently. Which I'm going to fight tooth and nail, because that's bullshit, you know? I mean, yes, it is his to do with as he pleases, but that's a really stupid thing to do. She's a grown woman with a job. She's perfectly capable of buying her own PS4, you know? And I like the girl, but she's perfectly capable of buying her own PS4. If she really wants one that badly. And even if she isn't, I think I heard them say that she has a new boyfriend, and maybe he could buy her a new PS4. I mean, because that had actually been the original plan. That he was gonna, well no, the original plan had been, he was gonna buy a PS4, and then give her this one, and I'm like, I don't know if I can transfer all my data and shit. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna get rid of it, sell it to me. I will buy it off you. I'm the one who uses it 98% of the time anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna be fighting him on that, trying to get him to not do that. Or to be sensible and, you know, like give her an invitation to come over and play it or some shit like that. But, meh. Anyway, so the plan is finish XCOM 2, start and hopefully finish Jurassic World Evolution. I almost said Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. No, this is the new one. And then I can return that and maybe get a new game, which will probably be a PS3 game if he goes through with this stupid batshit crazy idea to loan out the fucking console. Which reminds me of that time that he loaned out the PS4 controller without telling me. I came home looking for the damn thing. He's like, oh, I loaned it out. I'm like, really? And apparently, I found out from a mutual friend of ours, because he every time my roommate called to complain to him, he would rant at me about it, like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened or this happened. I'm like, dude, you're working off old information. We fixed that a week ago, you know. But he was talking about, oh, he owes me money and he went out and bought a new controller. I'm like, no, I didn't buy you a new controller. I got my aunt to buy the controller. You know, none of that money was mine. But apparently, what our friend told me is he loaned that out to ground me for the PlayStation 4, when really all he has to do is tell me, don't play the PlayStation 4 until whatever, and I won't fuck with it. Because I actually listen really well when told not to do shit. But, and he's mad that I went out and bought a fucking controller, when I didn't. Again, my aunt paid for it. I asked her if she could, and she did. Because I think it was close to Christmas time, and he'd been talking about getting a new controller for ages and never got around to it. And I finally basically said, fine, I'll get one myself, because we need a new controller. Because even if we don't do two-player shit, I have friends that would like to do two-player shit, or that I would like to do two-player shit with, you know. Now I just specifically put shit that should be in here. You know, like lead, because everyone stores lead in their fridge, right? It's not just me. And then this can go in here. But yeah, it's really fucking dumb. He shouldn't do it. Gonna try to get him to not do it, but we'll see. But anyway, when the laptop comes in, the first test is obviously going to be, can I record the things I want/need to record? Like, can I record Final Fantasy? Can I record, I don't know, Death Road to Canada? Can I record Stardew Valley, etc.? You know, can I do those things again? Because the other computer could, this one cannot. We'll see if the new one can. Plans had been to play things like Subnautica, Stranded Deep, Raft, Cuphead, but apparently, while the processor can handle those games, the graphics processor thingy might not. And if so, recording would definitely be out of the question. But we'll see. I actually physically own Cuphead, so I don't have to waste any money to try that shit. And if it plays Cuphead, as my friend said, that's the one that worried. That was the source of worry. If it'll play Cuphead, it'll probably play the other ones. And if it'll record it, it'll definitely record the other ones. But whether it records those or not, I want those just to play. You know. I mean, I wouldn't mind... maybe not doing a Let's Play, but doing like a This Week in Kyrix of Stranded Deep, or Raft, or Subnautica. But I just don't see myself doing a full-on Let's Play. But I do want to play the game. And I would like to run a thing of Rebellion, but quite frankly, no one would watch that. Because Rebellion is... at the best of times, a butt-ass boring game. There was a lot of sitting and waiting. I mean, if I were to play that game start to finish, and I were to cut out 6 hours of footage, you wouldn't miss a goddamn thing. It's really a very uneventful game, with moments of eventfulness popped in. And even most of the eventfulness is just annoying. Like, the computer will... send its fleets from planet to planet looking for a planet that's not defended. And by defended, I mean shields. If it's got 2 shields, generally they won't fuck with it. And they'll go from planet to planet, and there are 10 planets per sector. And if they see shields, they'll sit there for like 3 seconds and then leave and go to the next planet. and rinse and repeat until they find a planet with no shields. But if they do not find a planet with no shields, they will eventually cycle back and do the whole loop again, thinking, maybe he disassembled his shields. Nope, better do the loop a third time. You know, it's just, no. You're dumb. You're a bad computer who's bad at being a computer. I can't see shit. Kind of like when I actually open my eyes in the water. Which I don't, because I can't see shit when I do that. But, yeah, well, there's games to be played. I gotta rent Dead Space 1 and 2, so I can do the whole trilogy, because I own 3. I own Dead Space 3. I will be looking over various games on the PS4 that don't have cutscenes that will be automatically edited out. And I'll try my HD capture card on the new laptop, because maybe it won't record shit in black and white. Which would be nice, because then I could literally open another fucking source of water. Are you kidding me? Then I could open up every game in my library to that, if I wanted to, potentially. Every PS4 game at that point would have the potential to be a new Let's Play. And that's pretty fucking cool. I like the fact that I'm getting my channel back. My payment system with the roommate, where I'm paying him back for the laptop, does leave me a little financial wiggle room. So I might set aside money and get a couple other small Steam games if my shit records. Like, I'll finally do a Chrono Trigger record. I want to do the PC version, just because it's likely to have all the shit that the PS3 version has, and then some, like the 3DS shit. But if I have to, and I can find it, I'll do the PlayStation version instead. But more importantly, I'm finally gonna do it. I'm finally gonna break out the project, the big project, the one that I've wanted to do for about 6 years, actually. I've been wanting to do this one, well, maybe not 6 years. Well, maybe. This is, shit, I've been doing this 3 years just since I've lived here. So maybe it is. But anyway, this is the biggie. This is the one that I've been wanting to do pretty much from the word go, and just didn't have the time and so on to do it, because I was doing so much other shit on my channel. And then the second time when I stopped doing all the shit on my channel and decided, okay, we're gonna basically revamp the channel again, that kind of thing, I still didn't have what I needed for it. Like, I didn't have the time for it. But now, since I'm on more or less a hiatus, I can devote the time that I need. And I'm gonna do Star Ocean: The Second Story, which I am really immensely excited to do. I mean, I can't even tell you just how much I want to do this thing. Am I disassembling the lamp, the table, or the whole thing? I think it's the whole thing. Okay. Sure, we'll go with that, I guess. Was it aware that an end table had mechanical components I could disassemble in such a manner? But okay. But yeah, the reason Star Ocean: The Second Story is the big project is because of, quite frankly, the sheer logistics of it. Because I'm not just recording it and that's that, you know. I am going full tilt. I am doing Claude and Rena's story modes together, concurrently. Which means wherever Claude's story mode ends off is where Rena's story mode is going to end off. So the episodes won't necessarily last the same, because something like, let's say, Claude getting to Rena when Alan kidnaps her is going to be a lot longer than Rena getting to the boss fight when Alan kidnaps her, because she doesn't go through quite the same amount of bullshit that Claude does. You know? Likewise, there's some cutscenes that Claude sees exclusively that Rena just isn't there for. And And there are some scenes that for Claude are like a minute long, and for Rena are like 10. I was actually showing my friend the anime Star Ocean EX, which I love, but I forgot starts off pretty goddamn slow. And in I want to say the second episode, the village elder gives Claude, or as they call him, Claude, they give Claude the little exposition thing, and my friend's like, huh, oh, yeah, thanks for the exposition. I'm like, you don't even fucking know, dude. I'm like, in the actual game, this conversation is 45 fucking minutes long. And that's probably not an exaggeration. It's like a half an hour to 45 minutes. It is a long, unskippable, dialogue-filled clusterfuck that I'm going to have to do twice. Once for Claude and once for Rena. But this is a long game to play once, and I'm doing it twice, and I'm doing all of it. I'm doing the Cave of Trials, for example. So this isn't just going to be, you know, me doing a thing and then that's it. No, I'm doing all of the things. And it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun. It's definitely more work than I put into the other Let's Plays. Which, make of that what you will. But I am looking forward to doing it, partly because I love that game. I dearly love that game. It was the game that replaced Chrono Trigger as my favorite RPG of all time. For a little while. Eventually Rogue Galaxy took that, and then a couple other things took it from Rogue Galaxy, and it's... I'm kind of fickle is what I'm getting at here. But nonetheless, it is a fun game, and I deeply love it. I love this game. I enjoy it. It's so much fun. It just brings me a lot of joy to play it, and all that shit. So, that's on the list. Azure Dreams might be on the list, although it might never be done, because the problem with that game is it is quite frankly an RNG nightmare. And that is the nice way of putting it. It is wholly developed on luck, or dependent on luck. I could have the dream Let's Play of this thing, or it could fight me every step of the goddamn way. And neither of those are mutually exclusive. I can have episodes where nothing goes my way, and episodes where I find all of the rare shit at once in triplicate, you know? It's just one of those games. To the best of my knowledge, I don't think anyone's ever completed a video Let's Play of it. I only know of one text Let's Play, and even that, from what I understand, took like the better part of 2 or 3 years to get to, and they ended up game sharking just to show everyone the ending. So it is not an easy game. It is not a fast game, and it is not a game that likes you. This game hates you on a personal level, and you just have to live with that fact. But it is a fun game. But yeah, PlayStation was the era where a lot of really fun, inventive RPG ideas hit American shores. And the problem is, they're so hard to find. Like, even my copy of Azure Dreams cost me like 15 to 30 bucks. And that was with me just getting the game. I just have the disc. I don't have the instruction book, and I don't have the case. I just got a generic little thin case with the CD in it. That's it. Or maybe it was a plastic DVD see-through case kind of thing. But the point remains, I didn't get shit for it. Or shit with it. Same went for Chocobo's Dungeon 2. And, what was it? Chocobo Racing. And so there are lots of games like Rhapsody, for example, that I will probably never be able to play the actual versions of. And I just have to settle for, ROMs. Which have only gotten harder to find because apparently Nintendo has got a bug up its ass about emulators, and I'm sorry, fuck your company. Those games are 20 to 30 fucking years old. Let us have them. But we could make $5 a pop, or you could just let us have them. They're already out there. Let us fucking have them. You know? I mean, it's like when they did AM2R. You know, another Metroid 2 remake. They let that out so they could get out there, but they shut it down. And that was a colossal fuck you to the fans, because there was... Now, of course, we know now that Samus Returns or whatever was in the works, and it was released like a couple of years later. And it wasn't a bad game. I still say, from what I've seen the whole game played, and I am of the mind that AM2R is the superior game. You know, but that's not to say that the official Metroid 2 is a bad game, because it's not. It's a good game. It's just that all the shit that it does was done better in AM2R, I think. But the thing is, when Nintendo did that, there was no signal that a Metroid 2 remake was being made. None. As far as the fandom was concerned, that game was abandoned and never going to be revisited. Ever. And Nintendo did nothing to change everyone's mind about that. Most of us didn't know that game was out until it was released, or that it was being made until it was fucking released. At least I never heard any traffic on it until then. You know, I watch people playing AM2R on Let's Play channels, and they all basically said, you know, it's a shame Nintendo never did anything with this, you know? And then they did. But I'm sorry, fuck your company. If you want, for example, to release a Kid Icarus 4, and you want to bundle this thing just for nostalgia's sake on the Switch with, like, make a big old bundle of Kid Icarus 1, Kid Icarus 2, Kid Icarus Uprising, and Kid Icarus 4, cool, fine, sure. You know, if I ever get a Switch, I'll probably buy it. But for those of us who just want to play Kid Icarus 1 and 2, let us. You know? I own Kid Icarus 2 on the 3DS, and I almost never fucking play it, but I own it. But really, is making $5 a pop worth pissing off your fans? Because Microsoft tried that shit with the Xbone, and it cost them a lot of goodwill, and really gave Sony a one-up on them. Sony cashed in on that shit in a big way. For those that don't know what I'm referring to, Xbox, as one of its big selling points was, hey, all our games are digital downloads, so no more going to GameStop, etc. Only to find out that, hey, us gamers really fucking like shopping at GameStop. We don't like to trade stuff at GameStop, but we sure as fuck like to buy there. You know, because a lot of times you can get good games, and in some cases obscure games, real cheap. Now, I miss the old days, back in the days of Babbage's and Electronics Boutique, where you could go in and get obscure-ass PlayStation games. That's where I found Azure Dreams, actually. Was in a Electronics Boutique or a Babbage's, I don't remember which. The mall we went to had both, and I found it in one of the two. But yeah, that's... I miss that, because that's where you can find affordable-ass PlayStation games, because for reasons I cannot understand, PlayStation games appreciate in value like nothing else. My friend didn't get this, the HeroClix judge, and I described it to him. I made him go on eBay with me and search, like, how much it cost for a brand new in-box with the instruction book and the little protective bottom cover for the Super Nintendo Chrono Trigger game. In-box, all the shit, like the protective coaster it sits in, the instruction book, all that shit. We looked that over, And as it turned out, I had him look up Final Fantasy Chronicles, which was Chrono Trigger and that mixed together. And the brand new Chrono Trigger in box was slightly less than the PlayStation Chrono Trigger. And it's just fucking crazy that that's the thing. Like, if you're looking for PlayStation games that are not available online, expect to spend about 50 fucking bucks. You know. Now, if Nintendo really, really wants to cash in on their old games and not piss fans off, here's what you do. And they've already made strides for it. They've released, like, the classic consoles, like the classic NES, the classic SNES, with games built into them. They still have the game port, though I don't think they work, but I could be wrong. What you do is you either, if it doesn't work, release one that does, or if it does work, just release cartridges with the old games in them, and let them buy them in bulk. Because, I'll tell you the truth, as much as I like emulators, in most cases I would rather play the physicals. But, good luck finding an NES for a decent price that works, etc. No, if Nintendo wants to make money off their old products, re-release them in physical copies, not as fucking downloads on the Wii systems, or on the Switch, or the 3DS. Give us cartridges. You know? And if it costs too much to, say, make money by spending $5 a cartridge on, say, Kid Icarus. Like, oh, we could sell this for $5 a cartridge, but we'd lose like $30 on the making. Then what you do is you make the cartridges and you pile like 10 games into them at once. Like, oh, here's the Mega Man Classics, but in cartridge form, you know? Mega Man 1 through 6 for the NES. Here's Kid Icarus 1 and 2 with all the NES, all 3 NES Castlevanias, you know. Here's the Mario collection, etc. Do shit like that. You know, give us something we don't already have for free. Because here's the thing, when you shut down the ROM sites, it doesn't do shit. Because, and most people don't know this, unless they changed the law recently, it's actually legal to own ROMs if you have the original. And if you don't, it's legal to own it for 24 hours. So, that's a thing. And that's why, classic, or console classics was a thing. And if I can get the damn thing to accept my account again, I will probably be using it for a lot of my retro shit. Is because Console Classics doesn't download ROMs, it streams them to your computer. So when I play, say, Mario 3 on Console Classics sites, I'm using one of its, say, 20 copies of the game that they physically own. You know? And if they have 20 copies of Mario 3, and 20 people are playing, I have to wait for one person to stop playing before I can start. And that's how they're able to legally have that system. Now, maybe the laws have changed since then, I don't know. But, honestly, I'm sorry, but the way copyright laws work, they just really don't work in the modern era. I mean, there are too many ways of getting shit, and recording shit, and copying shit. They just don't quite function the way they're supposed to. You know? And I'm not saying just make it everything, oh, everything's free, nobody makes money off of shit. I'm not saying that either, but you need a new system because this one doesn't work anymore. If it ever worked to begin with, you know? I mean, honestly, the whole thing kind of went to shit when Mr. Rogers testified on not making the VCR illegal. Where he basically said, hey, there are lots of children who go to school and parents who want their children to see my show that can't because they're at work. And the VCR allows them to record it or whatever. Something along the lines of, The VCR allows parents to record my program for their children so their children can watch it whenever they want to. And I think that's a good thing, etc. And he's right. But the day that the day that the VCR was declared legal in the court is the day that copyright laws went on life support, as far as I'm concerned. Because, as I put it, the thing that doesn't make sense to me on this, and I get the legal thing, but I'm talking about reasonable sense, is why the hell can I not, say, rent, I don't know, let's say Jurassic Park in VHS. Let's go back to the 90s. Why can I not rent Jurassic Park on VHS and record it? If I've got 2 VCRs, just put Jurassic Park in one, run it through the other one, record my own copy of Jurassic Park, and just have a copy of my own, you know, no commercials, uncut, swearing and blood intact, etc. Why can I not do that? But it's perfectly legal to see Jurassic Park show up on HBO with no commercials, uncut, blood and profanity intact, and record that. That's perfectly fucking legal, but the other one, which is the same goddamn thing, is not. That has never made sense to me, and probably never will. Explain that to me. It's not like HBO puts a watermark. Well, sometimes it does, but really, who gives a shit if the bottom left corner or right corner says HBO? You know? But I mean, does that little HBO marker really make or break the legal system? Because it's fucking dumb. I mean, it's a nonsensical thing. Just pick or choose. Is it legal? Is it not? And then why? And shit like this is one of the many reasons I would not have made it in the military. I do not do well with blind commands. It just doesn't work for me. I'm one of those kids who, because I said so, just doesn't work. It's like, no, I need a little more than that. I need to know why you said so, not just because. I mean, you won't accept it if I say that, so why should I accept it if you say it? And of course they would say, because I'm the adult. I'm like, why does that matter? See, I can't tell half of these which ones are wreckage and which ones just aren't unloaded incorrectly. I mean, don't get me wrong, that one's a shithole, but it looked like half a shithole a minute ago. Plus side, I found some useful stuff. And I've actually gotten the house presentable enough that I can start exploring shit. Which is, of course, fun. But, yeah, after I finish recording this, I am going to, I'm gonna hop on XCOM and do that. Well, I'm probably gonna put this on the computer first and upload it. And then I'm gonna hop on XCOM and try and just pound my way through that. Because really, the sooner I finish XCOM, the sooner I can start on Jurassic World and other projects. Another thing, one of Eisen's friends will fairly soon be helping me with the Shantae series. We have been co-comming on a project with Eisen together, and I happen to mention that at some point I'm going to do all the Shantae games, and he's like, oh, I went in on that. I'm like, okay, cool. I just got to figure out how to do the editing and shit, which hopefully the new computer will make possible. I mean, we'll see. One of the reasons I don't want to do editing as a rule is because I don't want to sit through my shit and pick through it and just find like, oh, I've got to cut this out, got to cut this out, you know. Another thing is I don't want to have to shut up during fights, for example. And what if I talk during one of the fights if I'm cutting that shit out, you know? I just, as a rule, I just find it easier to just do all of my grinding off screen than I do to just cut fights out. Which is going to be a thing in Star Ocean, because there is so much shit in Star Ocean that needs to be grinded that I'm probably going to have... This, by the way, is the other reason why I do all of my uploads when it's done. Because, for example, if I had to do all the grinding in Star Ocean, I wouldn't have time for anything else. It's one of the first games we got in America with a level cap over 100. And it's a game with a standard 80 plus hours of playtime. So, I mean, back when a time when 40 to 60 hours was normal for an RPG, this had double that. And when 60 was an acceptable level to beat the game, you're at like 60 to finish the first disc. This is a big, big game. I definitely approve of all this corn. If I ever run out of cactuses and yucca plants, this'll be nice. Alright, we're gonna get back to home base before I call it a day. Which should be pretty soon, because I see that house, so mine should be right up on the horizon here. I kinda want that coal, but I don't want to pick at it right now. See, pretty soon I need to start looking for some clay. Oh, it looks so much nicer than that. Oh, shit. I need to put a fucking fence around this thing. That's what I need to do. I'm tired of falling into it. Or almost falling into it. Alright. See you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.